Welcome to Total Health Magazine on Total Health TV. I'm John Barson. Hey, we're continuing our series on the benefits of adding chlorella to your diet today, and there's just so much to talk about. We've broken the story into segments. So today's focus is on chlorella and weight loss. And my guest is best-selling author, lecturer, and podcast host, Dr. Sherrill Sellman, and she'll be joining us right after I tell you about our sponsor. And that is the Body Health Analyzer, or BHA for short. It's a state-of-the-art product for tracking and managing people's health using revolutionary technology to evaluate key health metrics, track their changes, and help to improve them. It's a tool for healthcare providers to let them treat their patients with greater insight into their health conditions with more granular health state information. But it's also a tool for ordinary people like you and me. We can track our own health with it and the health of our entire families. And we can do that at home. And we can share that data remotely with doctors with very little effort. The Body Health Analyzer is a HIPAA-compliant cloud-based solution that provides secure management of healthcare providers' client bases and individual health records and lets patients control whom they want to share their health data with. Think about that. You own your own data. Isn't that a novel concept? Try and get your health records. The foundation of the Body Health Analyzer is a set of unique technologies that capture patients' health metrics with an array of wireless sensors assessing physical and mental health status. And it evaluates the progression of conditions using a mathematical model based on solid heart rate variability science. It also incorporates a unique and very powerful breathwork technique that's based on heart rate variability biofeedback that reduces stress, rebalances your health state, and maintains the body's inner balance. Who doesn't want that? The Body Health Analyzer is backed by decades of research studies conducted by the company's R&D team in collaboration with independent scientists. And now, let's get on with the show. And Sherrill joins us now in studio. Hi, Sherrill. Nice to have you back.
Hey, John. It's good to be back with you.
You know, we're talking about weight loss today, as I mentioned off the top, and I want to refer to a study in your article, which is available in Total Health Magazine. So for our viewers, the link's below in the show description here on YouTube and on Rumble. I think that, I find it interesting that in the journal Obesity Research and Clinical Practice, they found that people today are 10% heavier, even following the exact same diet and exercise from how long ago?
Well, I think they started like in the 1970s, 1980s, and yes, so they compare it to more present time. So what could possibly go wrong? What could possibly be happening that this comparison of these people who supposedly are eating the same diet and the same lifestyle, and I'd say supposedly because a lot has changed in 30 years, right?
Absolutely.
It's the mystery, right? It's the conundrum. But when we unravel what's happening now with our food, what people are eating, what's happening to the environment, there's so many other factors that I believe are impacting how the body is functioning and why we tend to be storing fat and putting on weight, and most importantly, what we can do about it. So that was the theme that I started with when I began to investigate the issues with weight loss and then the important role that chlorella has in supporting not only weight loss, but overall health and well-being.
Well, this is a number that jumps off the page at me. 58% of Americans eat ultra-processed food. So that's got to have an impact on your body.
Well, think about it. Ultra-processed food, that's, food made in laboratories. It's made with all the nutrition taken out. It's got chemicals, preservatives, colorings. I think it's a stretch to call it food, to be honest. So
Right.
when you're providing your body, you're eating this stuff that's off the shelves of supermarkets, because most of the supermarkets have ultra processed foods, but actually you're starving your body. So there is nothing nutritious in these foods to support the body's ability to function because they're so toxic and because they are heavily laden with rancid fats and sugars. we tend to see this transformation that goes on in the body, and it tends towards more storage of fat. We're damaging the liver, we're damaging the spleen, we're damaging the pancreas, we're creating more insulin resistance and more inflammation, and all of these things are factors that contribute to weight gain. So, yeah, 58% are eating ultra processed food. What about the rest that are eating semi processed food
Right.
or, or conventional food that's just been sprayed with all sorts of
Right.
pesticides and herbicides, right? So, the quality of our food, the quality of our land, and of the minerals, nutrition in the soil, everything has gone downhill for the last 30 years. So that could very well be one of the many factors that have resulted in this increase in weight loss and this obesity that we have right now.
Right. And then, of course, there's also a huge increase in prescriptions, in the amount of drugs that people are taking for different symptoms.
Yeah, so we have another problem, and that has to do, I believe, with the amount of pharmaceutical drugs. It's because, every drug has a side effect and it's affecting other systems of the body. So I was shocked when I was researching this article and actually curious to learn just how many prescriptions are prescribed every year in the United States. And it's 4.5 billion with a B prescriptions. 66% of the adult population in the United States are on medications. Now, probably they're on even more than one. So we have a heavily medicated population, and the problem with that is that many of these medications will alter again many functions of the body. They will stress the liver, which is important for optimal weight. They will cause more insulin resistance. They affect the pancreas. Every prescribed medication has a long list of side effects, and especially as an example, antidepressants, which are, I think, one of the most popular prescribed drugs in the United States, are known to alter a healthy metabolism, to put on weight in people and create more insulin resistance. So I think that's another factor that is contributing to this trend of increasing weight gain. And not only what the study found, but every year we're finding more and more people are becoming not just overweight, but actually obese.
Right, and all of these different things, pesticides, herbicides, processed food, chemicals, all of this different exposure, it's got to affect our microbiome. I mean, your microbiome is so important for health, to maintain, I'm trying to think of the word now, homeostasis in the body. Does that work?
Well, I think the microbiome is the key to having a life, to actually to be able to function in the world. And the more we study the microbiome, which is this huge community of trillions of bacteria and other organisms that live in our intestinal tract, mostly in the large intestine. And why are they necessary? Well, the research is showing that they have a direct correlation with weight. Now, if you've impaired this community of various species, over 2,000,
Right.
probably a whole lot more, that live in our gut, if we impair it through taking anything that's going to wipe them out. Well, it's antibiotics, but steroids can do it. The birth control pill and HRT, those alter your gut microbiome. There are certain foods that alter the gut microbiome. Depending on the kind of microbiome you have, how you've altered these gut bacteria populations, you will either gain weight or you will be more efficient at losing weight. So the more we alter it adversely, the more we damage it, the more we actually are creating the physiology, the biochemistry to increase fat storage and, again, the insulin resistance, and become more toxic and inflamed.
Right. Well, no, one of the things that got me interested in doing this story on weight loss for the magazine with you was that when I started taking Chlorella, I've got a history of cycling, long distance cycling. Like, I've got over 200,000 miles on my combination of bikes, and I eat healthy. I eat organic whenever possible, but boy, oh boy, no matter how much I rode, I just couldn't lose weight. I wasn't greatly overweight, but I wanted to be down to my best weight, which would be around 190 pounds, I thought, and I just couldn't do it. But when I went on Chlorella, I started taking it. It took a few months, but all of a sudden I realized I was wearing clothes I hadn't worn in a very long time because I lost weight. I dropped 20 pounds, almost 20 pounds. I went down to 190 pounds in about 3 months. I thought the only thing I've done different is added Chlorella to my diet. Like, that's the only thing I did different. So I think, you talk about the microbiome, I think that what happens is that if you take a healthy approach and you can reduce these toxins and you can get a healthier microbiome, then when you add Chlorella with the things in it, the ingredients or the components of Chlorella that you're going to talk about, I think what it does is your body's spending less time trying to repair all the damage you're doing. And so if you can reduce the damage, reduce the toxins, and add Chlorella and use that as part of that process, then I guess the healthier you get, the more you can take advantage of the benefits of Chlorella. And your cells are more balanced. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but first of all, congratulations that you were able to lose that amount of weight, and acknowledging Chlorella as the key factor, because that was the only thing that changed in your life. And it just exemplifies the power of this food. So maybe it's a good time to talk about Chlorella a bit more. When I started to research Chlorella, which I kind of knew about Chlorella, but not really. I knew the name. I didn't know much
me too.
about what it's able to do. And I took a deep dive into Chlorella, and I have to tell you, it just wowed me. It just absolutely floored me that this one cell organism that's a freshwater algae has the potential to nourish us in the deepest way possible. And not only that, but Chlorella has another superpower, you might say, and it has the ability through a unique complex called Chlorella growth factor that can actually repair the DNA and RNA and detoxify the body by producing glutathione, which is a really important molecule for the ability to clear the body of toxins from wherever they come from taking, toxins from our food, our pharmaceutical drugs, our environment. So think about it. We are able, with this one product, to supply the body with the key nutrients, including all the B complex, including vitamin C, beta carotene, including vitamins, what am I missing? The B12, which is hugely important for health and vitality and producing energy in the body. But it's not there. It's not just that stuff. It's also all these minerals which are depleted in our food supply now, the magnesium, the zinc, calcium, iron. It's got this amazing complement of these critical minerals. But that's not all. It also has a
But wait,
protein.
there's more.
There's more. It has a protein profile. It's more than 50% protein, and it has all the essential amino acids, which are the building blocks for all the structures of our body. So, everything in our body, from our DNA to our muscles, are made from the amino acids. And Chlorella has the complete complement. Unless you have all of the 8 amino acids, you can't create all these structures in the body.
Right.
And Chlorella has them all. And the other thing about Chlorella, it has these antioxidants called carotenoids. And many people have heard of lutein and astaxanthin. They are particularly beneficial for eye health. So what I'm saying is that we have, and it has omega-3, by the way. I don't want to leave that out because that's really important for weight loss. It has all of these nutrients in this one cell organism, which is pretty phenomenal, that support life. In fact, if you had to, you could survive on just Chlorella.
Okay, so let's actually take a look at it. All right, so for our viewers who don't, they're like, what is Chlorella? This is Chlorella. And we actually have it under a microscope here. So
Yeah,
how on
isn't that
earth,
gorgeous?
yeah, how did nature get all of that into that? Like,
I don't know. It's like the wonders and the miracle of life because truly, chlorella, who would have thought chlorella contains all these vitamins and minerals and omega 3 fatty acids and proteins and this chlorella growth factor, which is only found in chlorella in the whole universe of plants. It's only found in chlorella, this chlorella
right,
growth factor. Is so regenerative to the tissues. So the more you can nourish the body, the more you are able to restore function of all these systems of the body that have been so compromised. And the other key thing that we need to emphasize again in chlorella is that not only is this powerhouse of nutrition, which is why it's a superfood, but chlorella has this ability to detoxify the body of heavy metals, of pesticides, of mold, of whatever chemicals. It enhances the functioning of the liver. It's able to take these toxins that are, there's a term called obesogens, and this is a term that is associated with various chemicals and pesticides that actually are known to put weight on and to make people overweight and obese. So the ability of chlorella is the fact that it can detoxify the body of these harmful chemicals safely and remove them safely out of the body. So it makes it such a unique and profound source of nutrition that we all really need right now.
right. So it just seems to me that, I mean, it's not, it's not a magic pill, but it's darn close. More like a magic powder, I
Well,
guess.
it's a magic food.
Right.
It's a magic. I would call it. It's like a miracle food. If you want a miracle food, I would say chlorella is really top of the list because of the deep nutrient profile and its ability to pull the toxins and effectively clear these various sources of toxicity out of the body safely and effectively. I don't know any other food source that can do that. That does it all. It's providing deep nutrition and deep, safe detoxification.
Right. Well, and I do think, like going back to my earlier comment, I think that if you start taking a healthier approach and try and reduce your exposure to all of these different things, like the processed food and one, actually, I should say this: if you can't, when you're reading a label, and we should always read labels when we're buying foods or anything that is going to go in or on our bodies. If you can't pronounce the ingredient, you probably shouldn't be using it or eating it.
So, the reason why I think chlorella is a really key piece for anyone who wants to do weight loss because it's deeply nourishing the body. All these nutrients, the B complexes, the beta carotene, the vitamin C, the vitamin D, which it has, all of those things are supporting the body to be regulated back into optimal functioning. So if you're putting on weight, which sometimes it's due to too much sugar, toxic foods, sometimes it's due to chronic inflammation that's going on in the body. Whatever it is, the more we can deeply nourish. And by the way, as you can see, because it's green, it has a high quantity of chlorella, which is purifying to the blood and alkalining to the body. So an acidic body tends to put on weight. I mean, if you were to check all the key points required to support weight loss, chlorella would tick all the boxes.
Okay. And let's talk about the different types of chlorella because it's important to know the source of your supplements, your food. What's so good about the form of chlorella we're talking about?
So the form of chlorella we're talking about is produced in Australia. Actually, it's produced in the Great Barrier Reef area. People have heard of the Great Barrier Reef. So this is a pristine part of the country. It's in the state of Queensland. And what is unique about this product, which is, by the way, an organic product, is that there it is. It's grown in these uh, um, unique ponds that replicate nature. And it's grown in an environment of pure water and lots of sunshine, which is needed to propagate the algae. And you want this pristine environment because many chlorella products are actually grown indoors in vats. It's not the same as when you're getting all the
Right.
elements from nature, and because chlorella has this ability to absorb toxins, if it's grown in an environment, let's say where the air is polluted, guess what? It's going to pull it out of the air, and then you'll be having chlorella that's doing its job, but it's holding on to the toxins, and so you don't want that. So having it grown in a pristine environment with absolutely pure water, clean air, is creating the highest quality chlorella, which is why it is acknowledged and considered and registered as an organic product, which is what you want. You want an organic, always as much organic in your life as possible. So, so that's one feature. And the other thing I want to say about this company, the Biogenesis Australia, is that they have gone to great lengths to find the best techniques to process the chlorella, to access the nutrients of it without destroying or creating more oxidative stress, which often happens when you process chlorella. And the packaging is also designed to preserve the quality and strength of chlorella. So this is a company that's gone all the way to ensure the highest quality product you can get anywhere in the world.
Well, I've always said we're running out of time here, but I've said for the longest time that when people ask me, say, "Well, what do you recommend that I should?" I say, "Well, vitamin D, zinc, magnesium." And you've got other types of conditions you would consider other supplements, but on average, I say your primary got to be vitamin D, zinc, magnesium. You could throw in CoQ10. You could throw in these other supplements. But after reading your research and talking with you for these past few months about the chlorella, particularly the chlorella growth factor, which has me really excited, chlorella is number one on my list now.
You know, I am the same way. I take it twice a day. I don't ever want to be without it. I'm recommending it to all my patients, to family, to friends. And I just want to say, I was talking to a friend the other day, and her sister is in a high stress job. She was getting headaches and feeling run down. And my girlfriend told her about chlorella, so she started taking it, and she told her that since she's been taking chlorella, she feels fantastic. She doesn't get the headache. She has plenty of energy, and she really attributes it to taking chlorella. So that's a personal testimony that I can vouch for, and that's
Right.
how powerful this real food is. It's real food, real nourishing food from nature.
Well, here's what. Let me bring this up. This is what it looks like. You have two options of taking it. Oops, that's not what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Um, you could take it in tablets or powder. Obviously, tablets are convenient. I like the powder. I like the earthy flavor in water. I just that
Yeah,
that pond
I want
picture
to say
keeps wanting to
tablets.
come back.
The tablets are really small. A lot of people have problems with capsules and things, but these are really small tablets,
They are.
so they're easy to take down. And the powder, if it's just pure chlorella, it does have an earthy flavor. I mix it with other things like juices, but the Biogenesis Australia has actually made a variety of flavors with
That's right.
chlorella. So it makes it really palatable. Not everyone likes that earthy flavor, but you can choose now. You can choose whatever form you want, whether it's the tablets or the pure chlorella or the flavored chlorella, all naturally,
Right.
sweetened and natural flavors. So no excuse to be taking chlorella. You have to be taking it. I think if you really want optimal health these days, it deeply, deeply nourishes the body, and that's what our bodies really need. And we need it for our health, we need it for optimal weight loss, and we need it to heal and repair and regenerate.
Once again, that is Dr. Sherrill Sellman, best-selling author, lecturer, and podcast host. She's got her own podcast. She does her podcast twice weekly, so check her out on her website, drsherrillsellman.com. Again, this Chlorella, Biogenesis Chlorella, the links are below. It's one of the most affordable supplements on the market. Check it out. I think you will like the benefits that it is going to provide you. That's it for this edition of Total Health Magazine here on Total Health TV. I'm John Barson, and just hoping we can all stay healthy. Thanks. Bye for now.